I'm standing here in Shuzhen Province, Yongzhou Town, where over 400 local residents are blind in one or both eyes. These patients range from children to adults and even seniors.
This town has a higher percentage of residents with eye problems and has been dubbed the blind town by others. Why is this happening? Upon investigation, we see that locals grow red onions and rely on it for a living.
When they're harvesting the onion, it may sting their eyes, and moreover, they use their unclean hands to rub their eyes.
Red onion is a part of the onion family, also contains fungus which are unseen by the eyes.
When growing onions, it produces a type of onion fungus which can cause infections.
Harvesting hazards happened in Taiwan's Pingdong region, where 20-some onion pickers lost their eyesight in one or both eyes due to fungal keratitis. Taiwan farmers now wear goggles to protect their eyes, but those in Vietnam do not have the resources to help them, thus their problem continues to worsen.
During harvesting season, there are lots of fungal infections floating in the air, and these infections can get into the eyes through the atmosphere.
Research shows that foodborne disease, which are food items that have been contaminated with bacteria, fungus, viruses, parasites, or chemicals, are problematic. On average, for every 10 persons in the world, one is affected and could suffer life-threatening ailments. As a result, 420,000 people die from foodborne diseases each year. Each day, 1.6 billion cups of coffee is consumed globally, but you might not know the hidden dangers of coffee bean.
This is a full black bean, which has the most toxins and the most complex. You don't have to drink much, merely one bean, for it to affect you.
The full black bean is a coffee bean that has grown moldy and now contains agrotoxin.
The moldy coffee, no matter how you roast it, it will affect the quality of coffee.
Agrotoxin is a colorless mycotoxin. Scientists discover that even through high-temperature roasting, it won't remove this type of toxin. When ingested in large quantities in short amount of time, it can lead to cancer, kidney failure, fluid retention in the lungs, and even death.
If coffee beans are not stored properly, it can grow up to 3 or more different types of ultra-toxins. The Vietnamese coffee chain store we are visiting today store their coffee beans in a dry room where temperatures are kept at between 16 and 20 degrees Celsius.
This type of storage facility can prevent the growth of agrotoxin in coffee beans. However, in Vietnam, many who sell coffee beans are not willing to take the extra step.
In Vietnamese markets, like street vendors or their local coffee shops, they don't pre-select their beans.
The effects of Agent Orange is still affecting the health of locals here in Vietnam. The use of this herbicide and defoliant chemical with traces of dioxin has become a dark moment in the history of global warfare.
This monastery in Vietnam has taken in 45 orphans, 15 of which are suffering from the effect of Agent Orange. It's been 4 generations and the parents are still birthing children affected by Agent Orange. They are unable to take care of them, thus abandoning them to the monastery.
Some of the kids we have adopted do not have a clear mind, while some suffer from weak bodies. It's all the effects of Agent Orange.
In Vietnam, the effects of Agent Orange could be facially or extra fingers, leg and arm deformity, and also mental development problems.
Research shows that dioxins do not only affect the people it comes in contact with, but as it can change one's genetic makeup, it can permanently affect the later generations. Medical findings also discover that soil, which is filled with dioxins from Agent Orange, can get into the food chain of poultry and livestock and affect people in other countries.
I'm standing in the rural countryside of Vietnam's Ton Nai province, a place where Agent Orange was heavily spread. The dioxin in the soil is not something which can easily dissolve, and though it's been more than 15 years since the incident happened, the livestock kept here can potentially be filled with toxins as they eat the worms in the soil.
It's a fat-soluble chemical, so it will be absorbed when in contact with lipids. So when it comes in contact with animal fat, it will dissolve. That's how it gets into our food chain.
Animals come in contact with polluted soil through their skin and mouth, while dioxin is deposited in their body. As it is soluble in lipids, plants which do not have animal lipids do not absorb dioxin in them. And that is why coffee and tea imported from Vietnam do not contain dioxin when tested.
Fruits and vegetables, though growing on the same dioxin-polluted land, have little or no toxic deposit because they don't absorb the toxin. So on the contrary, it's perfectly safe to eat.
With dioxins polluting the food chain, eating vegetables is a way to break the cycle, which is not only good for reducing carbon footprint and not killing animals, but also another way to keep healthy.